This first question, he says, what difference as a man do we have to see in ourselves to step up to the next level? And how does the friends and people you put around can affect that dream? So I'll touch on it first and let you think about that. Essentially how I interpreted it was this person wants to level up and wants to make sure that the people around him are facilitating that growth.
Right.
And that's how I read it. So my response to that would be, one, the most important thing is to be mentally all right with yourself. The mental aspect of your personal self is by far the most important thing, in my opinion. More important than the physical, more important than the finance, more important than anyone around you is the mental, because the mental is the foundation that carries everything else with that. Right. So mentally, you have to be in the right space to where you feel, okay, now I'm ready to make that next step for wherever that feels with you. Whether you want to get a better job, higher education, fitness, whatever, even with fitness or physical, you still have to have that mental aspect put together for you.
Right.
And then as you extend with your friends should be someone that brings something of value to you. Now, the value that you say this friend is bringing to you is going to be subjective. So you've mentioned it before. You have some friends that are just very funny people.
Right.
But in terms of your value system, that can actually be very important to you, because you would need that sort of comic relief in your life.
Right.
And someone of a go-to to be that person, right? So I carry that on with yourself. If you want to succeed, make sure you have people around you that are actually bringing things of value to you and that extend different facets of what you're trying to achieve. So as a great example, let's say you want to be a banker.
Right.
You want to be a great banker, right? You got this big promotion you want to do, right? Well, there's a lot of things that go into banking that you can consider bringing in as your team, right? So banking, you need someone who's good with spreadsheets, right? You need an accountant. You need a networking guy. Banking, you gotta have people put money in your bank.
Right.
So you gotta have people, you have to have ambitious people around you that are willing to take a loan. They're people that you trust, that are willing to pay it back and build something, and then you get paid through interest along the way, right? You need a marketing person. There's nothing that's going on out here that isn't going to be marketed. So you have to have some way of advertising what you do.
Right.
So put that in with your life. Anything that you would like to achieve, make sure you build a team around you that idolizes your goals, but in general idolizes you wanting to progress and be successful. Because you can be on your way to being a banker and decide you want to do real estate. But a lot of those, and what we talked about compound interest, a lot of those skills or a lot of those values that you have in those friends for finance, or what did I say, the spreadsheet person, the accountant and stuff, all that can transfer over to you now wanting to do real estate. So that's kind of my philosophy when I terms of building that team around me, and that's what I try to do. But what are your thoughts on that?
I think, and I'll attack this in two, because there's two questions, so I'll mainly focus on the first question, because I think the first question is the most important. And maybe I'm a little bit over psychoanalyzing it a little bit, but I think when I hear that question, I hear somebody that is curious about what it is in fact to be a man, right? What are the elements that make a man? And that goes back to even why we started Men the Podcast, bro. That's what my mindset went to, is that, again, society has kind of created the role of what is supposed to be a man and what it's going to be like. It's going to be builders. We're going to be strong. We're going to be doers. We're going to get stuff done. We're going to be rigid. We're not going to have any emotions, bro. Just go about your day. Don't wear your emotions on your sleeve and just work, and provide, right? And don't get me wrong. There's elements, to his point and to the society's point, there's elements that I do agree with when it comes to being a man. I do, in terms of what society has told us. I totally agree with certain ends, but not to where it's a detriment to yourself, right? So one of the things, and we've talked about on one of our episodes, is I questioned a lot about what it was like to be a man for myself. I grew up in an all-women household, so I didn't know what it was like to, I don't know, I'm looking and trying to take parts from everybody. Oh, he doing a little bit of this. That's what it's probably supposed to be like. And so my thing, I think the best instance I could tell you of kind of like a synopsis of what it's like to be a man, or what it should look like to be a man, to elevate yourself, is somebody that's, again, going back to your point, is being in tune with yourself and not always trying to, it's not cookie cutter, right? You're not a cookie cutter person. You're an individual at the end of the day. So yeah, there's going to be manly aspects of you that's important, or it might not be important, however you feel about it. But also you got to be in tune with yourself. I think the one thing that shows who a man is, and the most important thing, is the willingness to say, I'm willing to do whatever to elevate myself and not be afraid of what other people think about me, right? Because at the end of the day, people are gonna think about you. Just going back to that Eleanor Roosevelt quote, again, I'm a quote guy, but like, people are gonna think about you a certain type of way, good or bad, regardless, no matter who you are. And you gotta be willing to say, you know what, if that's gonna be the case, I might as well be comfortable in my own skin if there's gonna be people that's gonna think negatively and positively about it. So you gotta go about it in a way that's going to feel most natural for yourself. So that's my first part of the question. The second part of the question is about the friends. And I will let you know this, man, seriously, and this is, I will die on this. Your friends, again, another quote is, show me your friends, I'll show you your future. I really thought that was some BS. I'm not gonna cuss on here today. I thought that was some BS growing up. But man, as I got older, I want y'all to know that was the biggest element of me being able to elevate myself, right? Because I was boxing to just the sports friends, the funny friends that's just doing stuff all the time. And I'm like, I'm trying to elevate myself. I remember, and this would be a testament to our friendship as well, is if I line up my friendship, like, because I come from the hood, bro, so I come from seeing a certain demographic of people. So if you would have lined up my friends in high school, right, my top 10 friends, and my top 10 friends now, they look completely different. My top 10 friends now are the people I communicate the most with, come from different backgrounds. I got white friends, I got Asian friends, I got Hispanic friends, I got black friends, I got people that come from 2-parent households, 1-parent households, affluent, not affluent. It's a really broad range. At one moment, I was with this, and there's nothing wrong with that, don't get me wrong, because of where I grew up from, but I couldn't get out of my mindset because they was thinking the same way I was thinking. And I'm trying to think a little bit or upgrade my thinking or do that. So in terms of your friendship, that is the most important thing, man. Seriously, who you have around you is the most important aspect of being able to now elevate yourself and separate yourself. Because at the end of the day, if you only around people that think just like you, bro, y'all just gonna have a kumbaya circle about the same things every day. You feel misery, I feel misery too. Let's talk about misery all day, right?